Hello, team Nailed It. What's up? Welcome to another team training. I have some awesome guests who are actually not on our team. And I'm so excited to have them on. Welcome, Emily Neal and Geneva Griffin. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
So how I met these ladies was in Jamaica, baby. We met in Jamaica, and we all ended up sitting by each other on the plane, which was so funny, on the plane ride home. And we just got to chatting, and I started picking their brains. They both were talking about Unite to Ignite because they both had earned it. And I was like, okay, tell me all the things. Tell me how you guys earned this. And they started sharing some really great tips. And I was like, oh my gosh, you need to tell my team this. Like, I want everyone to hear this because it feels doable. And sometimes these big goals can feel like, that's for other people. That's not for me. And so I cannot wait to hear. I can't wait for you guys to hear some of the tips and tricks they shared with me on the plane ride home from Jamaica. So before we dive in, I would love to hear, I always have stylists share their Color Street journey. So Geneva, will you share like how you found Color Street, how you got into this?
Okay, so I am a COVID stylist. I'm sure everybody knows what that means at this point. So I joined in 2020, right before everything shut down for COVID. And my sole motivation at that moment was to keep getting my nail polish for cheap because my husband he's in the fitness industry, and his studio was closed because of safety reasons. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I got to keep my nail polish at least for 13 manicures. So let me just go ahead and buy that kit, and I can keep my nails looking pretty for 13 weeks. Surely COVID will be over by then. But
right.
Yeah. And it just turned into a lot of fun. I'm sure everybody remembers. It was a lot of fun. Everybody was coming together, and just joining up in VIP groups and just loving the heck out of Color Street.
Yeah.
And just having that community. It was so great. Needless to say, my business grew, my team grew extremely quickly at that point. I ended up getting to senior director in about 4 months with Color Street, which to me, I mean, wild, right? But just to backtrack a touch, like I've been in direct sales for 22 years now, believe it or not, since I was 18. I know,
Wow.
right? Everybody laughs when I say that, but I had to calculate backwards because I was like, yeah, since I was 18. So that makes, and I'm 40, believe it or not. So it's been 22 years. So I say that, all that to say, like all of those years kind of culminated in this moment with Color Street. And I feel like all of that prep that I did with these other companies brought me to this moment, and Color Street, it just kind of exploded. So that's kind of my story, and still going strong 3 years later. So I love Color Street.
Amazing. I love that story. You were a kidnapper.
I sure was. That's what I tell everybody, you can be a kidnapper and turn this into a business.
Yeah. Yes.
Totally.
So cool. And you do look so young.
It's just Houston humidity. That's what does it.
It's the Color Street makeup too, right?
Exactly. That too.
Okay, Emily, we want to hear your story, how you got started in Color Street.
Sure. So I also had done direct sales before. I never really had any success with any of them. I liked the concept. I thought it was great, but just never worked for me. So when I found Color Street, I actually tried it because I was in the food industry. And for some reason, my nails were just always like dirty looking. Like I'd scrub and it was awful. And finally, someone like made fun of me for it, one of my friends. And I'm like, I've got to figure something out because you can't wear painted polish or really get your nails done waiting tables. So my friend posted about Color Street. I tried it. I fell in love instantly, but we were living like paycheck to paycheck at that time. And so I thought, what if I just ask if there's a discount if I order my nails? If I happen to make some extra money, that'd be great. But, I'll just dip my toe in a little bit. And dipping my toe in a little bit started, it changed my life. And so I guess the short of it is, because I've been a stylist for, oh my gosh, 6 years this month. And
Wow.
starting from like no expectations to it completely changing my life was
Mhm.
crazy. It helped us do and accomplish some amazing things. So I'm really grateful for Color Street. I've loved every minute of it, and I'm really excited to share with y'all today.
Yes, we're so happy to have you. So while you're still on screen, will you share some of the tips, maybe three of the things that you shared with me on the plane that really helped you earn Unite to Ignite? So both these ladies earned it, and they're going in November, which is so exciting. I'm so happy for you guys.
It should be fun. So yeah, I've even had more time to think on it since our conversation, because I never really thought like, how do I teach someone how to earn Unite?
Yeah.
And so I'll kind of add to even what I said on the plane. I think the biggest thing is you have to do prep work leading up to it. So I think it would be harder to go from small amounts of sales to a huge jump of generally about 4,000 to 5,000 get you in that top 40.
Mhm.
And so building up your customer base, being a genuinely good stylist. Geneva's going to share some awesome tips with you that she shared on the plane that I've been implementing, and they have helped even since then, which I'm very grateful for you sharing that. So doing stuff like she's going to say, loving on your customers and just growing your customer base, not just expecting people to come to you to say, oh my gosh, I've been looking for a nail solution. We love when that happens. We really do, but
Yeah.
it doesn't always happen that way. So how are you growing your customer base and taking action and doing that? So, utilizing your social media is huge. I always have fun nails on. I love a good plain glitter or solid, but that just doesn't get people asking about your nails and having conversations. And then from there, you can start saying stuff like, oh, it must be my mascara, And so
Yeah.
kind of just growing your customer base is a really big one leading up to it. So if you're committed to doing Unite to Ignite, I think pre-deciding on the month that you want to do it would be huge. That's what I did. And Geneva ended up sharing that on the plane with us as well. Like, I think we actually earned it in the same month. Did you earn it in July?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. So we both, we didn't know each other until the plane, but we both committed to earning it in July and kind of went all out for it. I think that's huge too. So building your customer base before and deciding what month you want to go for it. We only have 3 months left if you're watching this like today. So October, November, December, commit and decide which month you're wanting to run. And the thing I said on the plane is you go all out. Like I prepped my husband. I said, this is going to be a busy month for us.
Yes.
You may not see me some days. And so, but he was fine with that. He really wanted me to earn this trip too, because it was a big deal to me. So I asked for help from him. I pre-warned him, like, I'll be working some late nights. I might have some big sales going on that will take a lot of my time. And so I decided in that moment to run for July, planned my whole month. I said, this is what I'll be doing. And Color Street even came in with some bonus things, like they had the pink BOGO sale, which was huge. I can't even remember everything that happened, but it was just a great month to try for it. And so I got lucky there, but they do something every month that helps stylists. And so I think whatever month y'all commit to would be huge. And then I think the biggest thing for me, because I've had a lot of stylists on my team and even Sideline Sister stylists say, I would love to earn that. But like Kelly said, sometimes we think that's for somebody else. The biggest thing for me and what I want to encourage you guys in is mindset. And so not even just saying like, I commit to earning it in October. I am earning it in October. I know I'm going to be on that trip. I'm going to be on the January Unite to Ignite trip. You tell people, you tell your customers, you tell your significant other, your best friend, anybody and everybody. You set an alarm on your phone that says, I earn Unite to Ignite. You have posters up all over your room or office, and it's just, you are surrounded with the belief. And then I just so happened to read a book called, oh my gosh, let me look it up. I'm
It
actually
flew out
reading
of your
it again
brain.
right now, so I don't know why I can't think of it. But I'll say the book to you guys before the end of the call when I go look
Okay.
it up. And it was such a huge mindset shift for me. And so I would recommend, if you have any goal with Color Street, reading the book. It's really good.
Okay, so I'm going to recap some of your takeaways because they were really good.
They
So
were.
one is you did, first of all, you visualized. I'm a big fan of visualization and like manifestation. And, we've created vision boards as a team and things like that. So you visualize like this is happening. You believed and you visualized. You're like, this is happening. I'm going all in. You told your husband, you planned it out. A goal is a wish until it's like on your calendar, And so you planned it out and then you did the work to get after it. So, and there was one more I was going to say, but I can't remember what it was. Anyway, but and the mindset, the personal development, I'm a huge fan of personal development books. I try to read one a month at least. And so you read a book that empowered you, Emily, and that helped you to, get that extra like boost and motivation and encouragement to reach your goal, which I love so much. So such great takeaways. Thank you for sharing, Emily. Geneva, let's hear some of your tips.
Oh my gosh. First of all, Emily, just hearing everything you said just reignited that fire that I was feeling in July. And I was like, yes, that's what I was feeling too. That's what I was doing too. Like, seriously, like it was so much fun, the push for it. Like, is it stressful? Of course. You're making this huge goal. You're putting it out there for the whole world to see. And that's the first thing too. Put it out there. I think sometimes we don't put our goals out there because we're afraid we won't make it. Like, instead of choosing fear, choose success. Like, and I tell people all the time, like the line between courage and fear is paper thin. So until you jump over into courageousness, like even being a little bit fearful, you just got to jump through. Like, you won't feel the courage until you embrace the fear and move forward. So I loved it, Emily, what you said too. It just got me all excited. I'm like,
yes,
excited again. So for Unite to Ignite, for me, it looked almost like Emily was saying, you have to plan for it. I didn't just decide on a whim. I think I'm going to go try to earn Unite to Ignite. I mean, if I had done that, I would have talked myself out of it because we chose July, you guys. Like, that's a month that's essentially one of the worst months in direct sales. Anybody else know that? Because I look back and I was like, ooh, alrighty, that's a little bit brave, Geneva. But then I was like, I shut it down and I was like, we're doing this. We're
and
going
it's a busy summer month too. I mean, there's a lot,
just a lot going on.
Yeah.
People are traveling. Everybody's out of town, it seems like. But I told myself, don't pump the brakes because I think people aren't going to be like willing, push forward, push with your goal, set it out there. Like Emily said, like post it everywhere. Remind yourself. I had my lock screen was my reminder. We're earning Unite to Ignite. Like, I told my family, I told my kids, like everybody knew when I had my phone in front of me, I was working. But also in that, I will say, I was very intentional with my time because I didn't want this to consume all of my time. So for everybody who thinks they can't do it, I just want to give you like a little snapshot of my business. I haven't hit over 4,000 in PV since 2022. So that alone could have caused me to not go for it. But instead, I decided, well, we're going to go for it anyway, even though it's been over a year since I hit that much PV. So don't let the amount scare you. Just push for it. Put it out there. Let your customers support you for once, because I think we all do this really great job of supporting our customers and giving. Ask them to support you. We can, and that's mindset too. Like, I had to erase this thought that I was bothering people, that I was bugging people. I sent no less than 20 messages a day, every day for the entire month.
Wow.
I mean, but that's how you got to do it. So like 10 of the messages were new messages to customers and 20 were follow-up, or 10 were follow-up. So it was about 20 a day. Before I even started, like in June, I made my list of people and I had it on my phone with a little, like the ability to check mark when I had talked to them. Like, I'm huge on notes. So I took a whole ton of notes, like when I messaged somebody, what they said, if they said yes or no. And then based off of that, I knew who I would follow up with, if I needed to send a message. And I simply asked, I said, I have this huge goal in mind for July. I want to get to our home office. You guys know how much Color Street means to me. This business has completely blessed my life and my family's life. I would love to go to home office to see how all of this is made and how it works. Will you help me? And don't be shy to ask, you guys. Like, don't be shy. Don't think asking somebody for their help is bothering them. Ask your customers for their help with you. Will you help me? Like, who's gonna say no to that?
Yes.
You know, like, seriously, honestly, who's gonna say no to that?
Women love to support other women.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And not a lot of women ask for help. So when they do, we're like, yes,
exactly.
please, can
And
I help?
I'm an Enneagram 2. I'm an empath. Like, it kills me inside to like put my ask like that. Like, can you help me? Like, it almost kills me inside, but like I have to push all of that away, especially when you have big goals like this, because like I said, you can't wing this. Like, you have to have a plan for it. So pick your month, know what's coming. Thankfully, Color Street gives us like advanced notice now of like what launches are coming and things you can plan. You have to plan for this. You can't just jump in your VIP group and go, do me this huge favor, and then not say anything for 3 weeks.
Right, like a one-time ask, and then you're like, well, I didn't get it.
Exactly. As far as the nuts and bolts of what I did, like I had a prize wheel that I did for my customers, and y'all, it was nothing fancy. I promise it was nothing fancy. I did different denominations of gift cards. I had one slot on there that was like double your order, which I already do with my customers, so I knew they loved that. Just things that I knew would entice them, and they got a spin on my wheel for every $30 they spent anywhere. So on my website, in my stash. And the $30 mark was extremely strategic because I know people are going to spend more than $30. Like if they do a buy 3 get 1, you know, that's already more than $30. But I wanted to take the pressure off of like, do a buy 3 get 1 and get a spin on my wheel, you know, because maybe not everybody can do that. Maybe they just want to grab a couple nails or a few things. So I was giving people options, but they always went outside of that number anyway, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then
you know
another,
what, Eva, ever since you told me about the spin the wheel idea, so what she described was she has, what was the website? What's it called?
It's an app on my phone, and it is, it's just called the Spin the Wheel app.
Okay, spin the wheel app.
Yeah, so I just preloaded the wheel there, and I did a screenshot anytime they got their spin. And I made sure the time was up the top so they could see that it was a fresh new spin for them. And I attached it with their thank you message in my VIP group. And that's another thing that I think sometimes we forget to do, like thank your customers, show all the other customers, like, look what they won on this wheel. Look at those pretty nails that they ordered. Like, don't you want to get in on that too? Like that FOMO is good. Like you want to get people excited to take part in that. And it definitely worked in my favor. And then one other thing too, like halfway through the month, I didn't think I was going to get it. Like I legit did not think I was going to get it. Numbers wise, I was not there. And I think I needed like 1,800 PV in 3 days or something like that. I got 2,500 PV in 3 days.
What?
And it was just a simple shift. I told my people how much I needed versus how many buy 3 get 1 free orders I needed. And that just changed the game because I was getting like $200 orders, $150 orders. Someone ordered almost $300 worth of product. And then everybody in my VIP group, my customers were like, come on, you guys, let's help Geneva get this goal. Like as soon as I gave my number, and it was like freaking Wheel of Fortune for a little while. I was constantly throwing up thank yous. I was like, I can't get to everyone this quickly, but it was like, my inbox was like flooding because they had a number, they saw my number and they changed the way that they were shopping based off of my number.
Yes.
So my biggest tip is don't say how many buy 3 get 1 orders you need. Give them a dollar amount because then they changed the way they were shopping to help me, which I thought was a huge thing too. Yeah,
because didn't you say you posted like sort of like a temperature gauge graphic and or a thermometer, like a thermometer graphic, and it showed, you know, how close you were to it? I think customers love that stuff.
Oh, they do.
I know. I'm like, how close are you to your goal? Let's get you there. Like, people love to support that.
Visuals.
They start that from day one. I don't know. Did you start that from day one, or was that more towards the end?
No, I started that from day one. Awesome. But I had also made like I was big on that, but how many buy three, get one orders I needed. So I had a graphic with like boxes that I was checking off as I was getting closer. And so I kind of stuck with that, even though like towards the end, I changed it to just the amount that I needed, but that helped too, because they were watching me check off the boxes and like,
Yeah.
oh, it's filling up. She's getting there. She's getting there. So that helped a ton. And then my method, I know I mentioned this to you, Kelly. Y'all have probably heard of the Becky Lauder method at this point, 3 + 3 + 3. Like I stuck to that like glue because it's a system that's easy to do. It took me out of my head. Like I didn't overthink anything. I just sat down every day and I did my 3 + 3 + 3. So that's messaging 3 current customers, 3 future customers, and 3 future team members. I was pushing for PV, but messaging people about the opportunity is always the forefront of my mind, because you never know. You're gonna, when you sign somebody up, and we had July, we had the special still going, so always that. But then the 10, also 10 messages that aren't Color Street related, relationship building. Like you can't ask people for things like this if you aren't building a relationship with them. So if nothing else, develop those relationships with your customers, get to know them on a personal level. It doesn't have to be all about Color Street all the time, but we all know that it eventually kind of leads that way, right? They know what we do. They know that we love this so much. So when it, and just with the planning process too, I hadn't done a big ask like this in my VIP group in months. So that was also part of my planning. So I knew when the last time I was trying to have a big push for something, I hadn't done one in a while. So that kind of helped me with this too, because I knew they were primed and ready to go.
Yes. I love that you did the 3-3-3 every day to just
without
build
fail
relationships, nurture, and convert those into sales. I have a question for you. When you did the 20 message, you also said you did 20 messages a day. Was that part of your 3-3-3 or were those different messages?
So that was part of my 3-3-3. I just didn't do any less than the 3-3-3. So like the 10 messages kind of went into with the 20 as well. I was doing 10 a day. So that's where I got to the number 20. So like after those 10 relationship building messages, I would go into like trying to message people about like, hey, I have this goal, blah, blah, blah. And as far as like relationship building goes, you can still kind of turn it into Color Street. I would just ask people like, hey, I'm packing up some samples today. Would you like me to send you one for free? And that's not necessarily like a hard ask. Like, would you like to spend some money? It's a simple like, hey, would you like a free sample of something? My birthday messages went into that too. I mentioned that to Kelly as well. Like you always have to be sending birthday messages to people every month. If you're not doing that, do that. Make it a part of your routine, because then you have a specific reason to ask something of them. Like it's without sounding pushy, because I'm offering them something fun, like a birthday party for Color Street. Get your birthday nails for free, And so the ask isn't as pushy, if that makes sense. Like, I want to celebrate you, so let's have a party kind of thing.
Yes, I love that you mentioned that on the plane, that you were like, hey, let's celebrate your birthday month and with a Color Street party. And you told me that about 50% of people said yes to it.
They absolutely do.
Who doesn't want to celebrate their birthday? Who doesn't want a little more recognition and love on their birthday, right?
Right. And I offer to celebrate them all month. Like I give them just a small little discount all month. And everybody knows that. A lot of my customers have been with me since the beginning, so they know what's coming for their birthday month. And I'm at a point now where they ask me to host them their birthday party and ask for their birthday discount. So
I love that.
Who doesn't love that?
They know your patterns. They know how consistent you are, Geneva. That's why you're winning. That's why you earned that trip.
Just grateful.
I mean, a big part of it, I say this a lot, is I really believe commitment plus consistency equals success and confidence. I would add confidence in there too, because you got to believe in yourself, believe that it's doable. Yeah. But you had those 3 things, and so did Emily. Yeah. And you guys were able to achieve it. I loved so much that both of you were so intentional on these goals. You started out the month. It wasn't like, I hope I get it. It was like, I'm going for it this month. here's my plan of strategy. I'm telling people, which is also, you know, when it comes to goals, you're more likely to achieve them if you share them publicly. So you guys shared them publicly and you asked for help. Like you asked these people to help you out with your goals, which is also another good tip for goal setting. And you guys were able to achieve it. I love it so much. And you were just, you know, you've been doing a lot of these things consistently for a while, and it's obviously paid off. So amazing. So amazing. Any last thoughts from either of you, Emily or Geneva? You know, any last tips or thoughts that you can think of that you want to share?
The book, I have the name of it. It's Psycho-Cybernetics for anybody who would like to read.
Tell us what that is about, like the gist of it, kind of.
It is a mindset book. It's kind of interesting because the guy who wrote it is actually, I think he's actually no longer alive. It's an older book, but the wrote it was a plastic surgeon, and it tells about his journey of like helping people, but then learning so much of it was like mindset and just believing in yourself. And I'm forgetting the term. Apparently I need more coffee today. Anyways, it's the mindset book, and it is very good with goal setting, and just it changed my life. It's one of my top favorite books.
That's awesome.
Cool. We're gonna have to read that. Thank you for sharing. Any last thoughts from you, Geneva?
I think the biggest thing is mindset, like Emily mentioned too. Did I want to not push towards the middle end of the month? Of course, you know, it's a huge goal, and I'm sure Emily too. You hear those, you have that negative self-talk that can kind of creep in. You get no a lot and you get discouraged, but you're gonna get no's. I just want you to know that now. Like you will get no's. You might even get ghosted. But if you're consistently messaging a certain number of people a day, or even just a week, if you want to look at it that way, the yeses will eventually trickle in and come through. And it's a numbers game. Just remember, like this business that we're in. So the more people you talk to, the higher your success rate is going to be. Just know that. So don't be afraid to talk to people.
Love it so much. Thanks you guys so much. And thanks everyone for watching. I hope this inspires you to want to be intentional, get your mind set and made up, and go all out to earn the Unite to Ignite trip. You got 3 months, October, November, December. You can earn it in one of those months. So go for it, girls. All right. Thank you so much, Geneva and Emily. And thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.